Welcome back, folks, to another episode of the Luke Paul Show. And, folks, we have a lot to go through. We're just going to start to talk about it right here. Joy Reid, America's least favorite political commentator now. As it would seem, she was just fired by MSNBC after having worked at the program for years, being a professional race baiter, somebody who continued to just rile up the race relations in this country in a very negative way. Joy Reid is being let go by MSNBC. Sure, her last show will be sometime this week, right? We really don't know, but the internet is very happy that Joy Reid is gone. Like I said, professional race baiter, just continued for years to dive into identity politics. Nobody liked this woman. I don't think even people on the left really like this woman, but nevertheless, she's almost gone. So we are going to do something on the show. We are going to actually play a little highlight of Joy Reid's gaffes, or what we would mention them as gaffes, just for the audience before she's let go from MSNBC, before she doesn't have a show anymore and she has to now go into independent media that she's talked down upon for so many years. We're going to just take a look at what Joy Reid has pandered over the last couple years, and then you guys decide if she really deserves to have been fired from MSNBC or not. Mind you, the reason she's being fired from MSNBC is because they don't get ratings anymore. They're not making any money because finally, the American public has seen that these people are not reporting the actual news. It's just propaganda. So we're going to play this for you. Here we go.
I know it's a dumb question, but is there a K through 12 curriculum on critical race theory that's being taught in schools around this country?
Well, look, Joy, if it was news to most Americans that critical race theory was in K through 12, it was news to me too. I'm one of the co-authors of one of the few books on critical race theory. I think I would know if we were being taught in K through 12. I mean, basically, critical race theory, classic critical race theory, is a law school course, and it's really, not taught as widely as I would hope it would.
That's Joy Reid platforming somebody who continued to claim on her show that critical race theory was not being taught in public schools, even though it was. So that's one. The next clip we have that I have ready for you here today is one where she's talking about race and all of that. So here's a clip. This was a Thanksgiving message to what Joy Reid called MAGA trolls, in quotes. So we are also going to play this one for you as well. Once again, just going back and highlighting the craziness of Joy Reid being on TV.
These are the people who say the undocumented, who they get to call illegal immigrants, like the Pilgrims had permission to come here.
Pretty sure the country wasn't a thing when the Pilgrims came here.
Have to suffer the consequences of their actions, right? They made the choice to overstay their visas or come into our country illegally. So if they get deported, consequences.
I mean, it is the law, right?
But you right-wingers shouldn't have to suffer the consequences of your votes?
Why should anybody have to suffer a consequence of their vote? What do you mean by that, Joy?
You don't want to be around me because I voted for fascism. No fair. I'm coughing on you with COVID, but you want me to wear a mask for your safety?
Pretty sure the studies about masks came out, and they said that they were ineffective. But continue, Joy. By the way, this woman's name is Joy, and she already, watching these clips, her name is Joy, and she is the most unhappy person that you could come in contact with. I mean, this lady has to be the least unhappy person, probably because she can't grow hair. But that is just that. Let's continue.
No fair. My body, my choice. Well, here's an alternative thought. Make your own dinner, MAGA. Make your own sandwiches. Wipe your own tears. Troll amongst yourselves with Elon and leave us alone.
What? We're almost done.
When we come back, I have a special announcement that you are not going to want to miss.
You're fired.
Goodbye to you. Goodbye to you.
If you see right here, it has after MSNBC cancels Joy Reid's Lefty show as networks make major shakeup. Folks, the legacy media is dead. We killed it. I helped kill it. We killed it. It's dead. Joy Reid getting fired is just another example, right? We can point to Don Lemon getting fired from CNN in the past, right? We can point to all of these networks. When CNN let go of Chris Cuomo, obviously he has a job in News Nation. He's kind of turned the page a little bit, but nevertheless, you see the firing. I mean, personally, I think they made a mistake, but Tucker Carlson getting fired from Fox, that's another example right there. Like, mainstream media is so close to being dead, and I think give it 10 years and you won't have these networks anymore. You might have Fox, but these networks they're so close to being dead, and now the power of the people is truly going to rise up. And so insane that this is even happening. Once again, Joy Reid, let's one more point about Joy Reid and we could be done. How was your name Joy and you are the most unhappy person in the world, it may seem? This bitch is always complaining about something. Like, what are we doing? Joy Reid complained about Donald Trump for 4 years, and then another 4 years when he wasn't even in office. Can you believe that? And then she expects us to watch her show, to want to watch her show, when the woman named Joy is the most unhappy person in media, complaining about everything that a Republican does. I've never seen a clip of Joy Reid when she was happy about something. You never see that. Why is that? Why is that? Tell me why Joy Reid never appears to be happy. Is it because liberal people and people that lean on the left typically are more unhappy than conservatives? By studies. I mean, I'm not the one saying this. But, like, why? So I'm not happy that this woman is going to be out of work. She probably had a really good buyout in her contract. So I'm not very sad about it. I'm very happy that Joy Reid's off the air. And maybe, here's the ironic thing too. Here's the ironic thing about Joy Reid. You see, Joy Reid spent years shitting on podcasts, shitting on independent media. But guess who is probably going to go start a podcast on her own? Joy Reid. And this time, the people get to see how many views she gets. So, time will tell on that one. But that's my prediction. I think that Joy Reid will end up start a podcast, and we'll see who really wants to listen to America's favorite bald bitch. Like, that's just it. I'm not sad at all that Joy Reid is gone, and I know a lot of people aren't sad either. So we'll see. This is a dub. This is a dub. That's all I'll say about that. Ilhan Omar is in the news today. Speaking of people that are quite unlikable. Now, I do agree with Ilhan Omar on a little bit. Not a lot, but a tad bit. But today, Ilhan Omar said that Americans are dumb idiots, and she was crying that some Americans that have opinions that she doesn't like, she was crying that these Americans are allowed to speak. And obviously not a free speech absolutist here, but I just want to show you what this woman said. And remember, this is an elected official, right? People elected her as a politician, as a representative from Minnesota. So take a listen, and listen to what Ilhan Omar said about America.
These people are just idiots. I really, I'm at the point where it's become really hard to have an intellectual debate with any of these people, because the level of stupidity that they are displaying every single day is frankly embarrassing, not just in Congress, but as...
You know, it's embarrassing. Ilhan Omar is literally married to her brother. Little embarrassing. Look it up. She's literally married to her brother.
Just the most ridiculous things tells you that the dumbing of the United States has arrived, because how else do we get a Trump presidency again?
It's funny how she says the dumbing of the United States has arrived. Darling, how long have you been in the United States? It does not appear that you were born here. Now, let's see. This does not have any racial undertones, by the way. I just want to make that very clear. Okay. But let's look this up real quick, because I think this is important. I think this is important. First off, let's look up where Ilhan Omar was born. I think that's important here. Where was Ilhan Omar born? She was born in Mogadishu, Somalia. What? Continuing on here. She spent her early years in Somalia. She was the youngest of 7 siblings, including her sister. Okay, I want to see when she came. Okay, she came to the U.S. when she was 12 years old. Ilhan Omar, you said America has gotten dumber. Is that maybe because you're here? She's obviously alluding to the fact that America used to be smart. So maybe America being dumb can be equated with you getting here as well. A second thing, let's fact check myself here. This is important for everybody listening and not watching. I apologize, but this right here is important. We're fact checking on the show. How often do we do that? Never. Okay, is Ilhan Omar really married to her brother? Okay. Here we go. All right, right here from MSN. Ilhan Omar really did. Oh, okay. Here we go. Bombshell. Ilhan Omar did marry her brother, says personal friend who was finally gone on record. It's real? Don't blame me, though. I'm just a stupid American. A stupid American that wants to tell the truth. Imagine that. Imagine that. So that's a little bit crazy. It's a little bit crazy. Can we say that? A little bit crazy. So I don't know. If you wanna, you can say what you want, but if you're going around saying that Americans shouldn't have the First Amendment, because that's essentially what this woman's saying. When you're going around essentially saying that Americans can't have the First Amendment and shouldn't be allowed to exercise their First Amendment rights, that's a little authoritarian. That sounds a little bit like what Ilhan Omar fled from in Somalia. Am I wrong here? Am I being not? I think I'm being quite charitable when I have these opinions. And it's just quite interesting, you know. It's quite interesting to really see the hypocrisy from all of these politicians. And so to transition, Bernie Sanders. Bernie, I go back and forth on Bernie. I like Burney, truth be told. I like him a decent amount. And so here's Burney begging for money, because he really doesn't take lobbyist money. It's true. He has one of the best records in Washington for not taking lobbyist money. Like, that's a real thing. But here's Burney, who is still a multimillionaire, right? This is something that's true. Oh boy. There we go. Burney, yeah, he's a multimillionaire. Let's just be honest here. He is a multimillionaire, and here we have a video, actually on TikTok, and Bernie Sanders was essentially begging for more cash from hardworking Americans to fuel his anti-Trump, anti-Musk whining tour, is what they're calling it. He called it a fighting oligarchy, and then there's also the fact that he does technically pocket millions himself. He does have a couple houses. This is true. However, I want you guys to watch this. You can make your own opinion. I just think it's a little sad, to be honest with you. I once again, I like Bernie, but there's that famous meme. I'm asking for more money. Well, he's now again asking for more money, and he has this classic video. They all blend to be the same. They all look the same. But here's a video of him.
I am once again asking for your financial support. I don't have to tell anybody that we're living in dangerous and unprecedented times.
I personally, Bernie, hear me out. I think personally the dangerous and unprecedented times were when the active president wasn't signing executive orders, and he was just, let me rephrase that. He was signing them, but he was signing executive orders that he didn't know what they were. The bill would come to him, the executive order would be on his desk, he would sign it, they take it away, he signs the next one. That was pretty dangerous. When the president of the United States that we elected wasn't even running the country, that was pretty dangerous and unprecedented. I like the fact that the guy we elected is actually making the decisions. But again, he thinks we're in dangerous and unprecedented times. Let's hear him out.
We are fighting now against the oligarchs, Elon Musk and the others.
I think it's quite funny. Yes, Elon Musk, he could be an oligarch. We're not defending him today. That time will come. But I find it funny that the same system that rigged Bernie Sanders from becoming president twice is now the system that he fights on behalf of. Like, I know the Epstein files are coming out, and we'll talk about that. I know they're coming out. We'll see if they actually come out. But they must have to have something crazy on him, because this system fucked him. Absolutely fucked him twice. And he is still working on behalf of this system. I don't know what it is. I don't know who it is. I don't know if he's stupid. I don't think he's stupid. I love how he continues to fight for the working class. I mean, this guy he has the history of being one of the cleanest politicians in Washington in terms of not taking lobbyist money. He doesn't. But I don't understand why. I mean, they rigged the Democratic primary twice. For Hillary and for Biden. They rigged it twice, so a socialist wouldn't get in. Now, would his policies have worked? I'm not sure. I'm not a socialist myself. But you could tell he truly wanted to help people. Like, he truly wants to help workers, I think. I don't agree with much of his positions. But I could certainly like the guy. And so, I don't know. I find this really hypocritical. Let's continue.
We're essentially running the government, the richest people in the world. We're taking on Trump's movement toward authoritarianism, putting more and more power in.
Once again, taking on Trump's move to authoritarianism is what he said. I would argue that the authoritarian thing, Burney, that you contributed to is when you sat and you enforced the laws. Imagine that. You enforced the rule that the party in power, the Democrats, enforced when they said COVID vaccine mandates. As unconstitutional as they were, that was quite authoritarian, Burney, because a lot of people didn't want to take those vaccines, but they had to, because the corporation said on behalf of the government that if you don't take them, we're going to fire you. Your family, your kids, your wife, your children, forget about putting food on the table for them. That's not what's going to happen. You're not going to have a job if you don't take this experimental vaccine. That's pretty authoritarian. I mean, call me crazy. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm the crazy one. But that's pretty authoritarian to me. And Burney, you fought on behalf of this machine. You enforced these laws. So don't tell me that this is an authoritarian regime. No, the authoritarian regime has already gone, and we'll see if Elon's an oligarch. He could be. But they've only had like 30 days, and they've done so much. So we'll see.
Into his own hands, undermining the Congress, challenging the courts, not knowing what the Constitution is about.
Once again, this guy fought on behalf of Big Pharma, so literally enforced the COVID vaccine mandates, which were unconstitutional. Talk to the workers. Talk to the workers who you love, who I think you do love, but talk to the workers who were forced to get this vaccine, and the ones who were fired because they didn't want to get the vaccine, especially in New York, the police officers. Ask them what happened, because they were all hired back. They were all paid, or a couple of them. The ones that sued, there were like 12 that sued, but they were paid. So.
We are right now engaged in a major struggle to make sure that the Congress does not pass legislation which gives massive tax breaks to billionaires and then cuts Medicaid, education, and programs that working families desperately need.
I'm pretty sure Trump came out and said that this wasn't true, but You can't tell anymore.
I am going to be running around this country along with others to rally the American people to continue to fight for justice, to stand up to Trump and the authoritarianism that we are seeing.
Okay. So we'll see. We'll see. Once again, I don't know as a man. Granted, a lot of men in the Democratic Party aren't actually men. But I don't know how as a man that you could get pushed around and screwed over by the Democratic Party not once, but twice. And you still are going out and carrying water for them, even though you're technically an independent. You're still going out and you're still carrying water for the Democratic Party. I just don't understand how, as a man, could you continue to support people that fucked you over twice? I don't understand. I don't get it. How could you, as a man, do something like that? How could you do that? I don't get it. I don't know. In the comments, what do you think? What do you think? Because I personally, I don't know. We have another story. We have a bunch of stories. Should I play this? I don't want to be seen as... Okay. Fine. I'll play it. Hunter Schafer. Do we know who Hunter Schafer is? Hunter Schafer is the trans actor from the show Euphoria. Biological male, transition to a female. We know the gist. A good actor, maybe. I really couldn't get into Euphoria. Tried to watch it. Seems like it's a good show. Could be a very good actor. But Hunter Schafer is in the news because Hunter Schafer, notice how I'm not using a pronoun here. Because Hunter Schafer got a new driver's license. And folks, Hunter Schafer got a driver's license, and the sex on the driver's license had an M. M implying male instead of a W implying female or woman. And Hunter Schafer was a tad upset, as you would imagine. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna play a video. We love the videos. We're gonna play it, and we're gonna see what she actually said, or he. I don't know. I'm not giving a pronoun to it. Here we go.
So I'm sure most of us remember on, I think, the first day of Trump's presidency,
I cried tears of joy.
he signed an executive order to declare only two genders recognized by the state, male and female,
Because there's only two.
assigned at birth. So my initial reaction to this, because our president, is a lot of talk.
That's true. He is a lot of talk.
Was like, I'll believe it when I see it.
Which is actually what I say when you say that you're a woman.
And today, I saw it on my new passport. Male. And I'm not making this post to fearmonger or to create drama or
I think you are.
Receive consolation. I don't need it, but I do think it's worth posting to sort of note the reality of the situation and that it is actually happening. And I was shocked. I also want to say I don't give a fuck that they put an M on my passport. It doesn't change really anything about me or my transness. However, it does make life a little harder. And
How? I don't understand how it makes life harder. All it is just a letter on a passport that how many people see a year? I mean, depending how much you travel in and out of the country, it could be single digits. It could be a little bit over double digits, maybe. Hunter Schafer obviously has a lot of money. But let's finish.
And thinking about other trans women who this might also be happening to, or other trans people, you know, the list only gets longer as far as the intricacies that come along with.
Enough of this. I'm going to respond here. I don't think that this hurts at all. Is trans a real thing? Or I don't even know if it's necessarily a real thing. Hear me out. I don't know if being trans is actually a real thing. Is it a mental illness? I don't know. But regardless of how you feel, right, I don't think that there should be violence against trans people. I don't think that. I don't think people should be calling for violence against trans people. I don't think they are. Personally, I don't think anybody is. And maybe there's some fringe people on the internet, but I don't want to be a part of that. The point is, I don't understand how a letter on a passport is a big deal at all. I mean, nobody's saying that you can't live your life. You want to cut off your dick, that's your prerogative, personally. I will say that if I tried to cut off my arm and I went to a hospital, they would say I'm mentally ill and I have to be admitted to some institution. Just me. I don't know. Maybe things have changed. Maybe things are not like that in reality. I don't know, as a country, how seriously we should be taking these things. When, I mean, last time I checked, we still are at risk of a massive war, a massive World War III breaking out in Russia and Ukraine. And then who knows what happens with Israel and Palestine. And don't you forget about China and everything that's popping off there. With Taiwan, we still don't know what's happening. Are they going to go to war? Are we going to have to intervene? All that shit. I mean, this is so low on the priority list. What changes realistically here? Do I think trans people exist? I don't know. Let's not even talk about that. But do I think that they should have a right to live their life? Sure. Just don't push it on the kids. Just don't push it on people. But you should be able to live your life however you want to live it. My gosh, we're in America. For Christ's sake, we are in America. But I don't know how much this affects you. Not gonna lie. I don't know how much this affects you at all. And he, she, they go, you know, I'm not trying to complain. Well, that's kind of why you're making the video. You're kind of making the video to complain. And this doesn't affect you at all. And I don't understand how it creates violence against trans people either. I'm not sure how a letter on a passport creates violence against trans people. Because we can already see you from a mile away. You know, we can already see you from a mile away. They're pretty easy to spot in public. Now, Hunter Schafer, an exception, looks like a biological female at first. That's just how that is. So I don't know. I personally don't think this is a big deal. Am I out of touch? Maybe. I'm not trans yet. But I don't know. It was an interesting story though, and I really wanted to talk about it. What do you guys think? Does there's a change on a passport, a letter or change on a passport mean that there's going to be more violence against trans people? I honestly don't know. And it's an odd story to me. It's a little bit odd to me, but ultimately I don't know. Please let me know in the comments, because I have no clue. I don't know. It just does not make sense to me how a name or a letter on a passport indicating that you're a biological male is gonna bring all this violence towards you. Like, I don't know. Hunter Schafer, not a bad actor either, from the episodes of Euphoria that I watched. I haven't seen Hunter Schafer in anything else, but I don't know. I really don't think that this is a big deal. Once again, let me know in the comments. That's all I'll say. It's been a day, but we're here, folks. We have big news, always big news. But the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, recently said that the Jeffrey Epstein client list is actually going to get released. In fact, she said that the list is on her desk for review. What? This is something that we have been talking about for years on this show. And the fact that it might actually get released, it's so exciting. So, we have a list of the top 10 most likely individuals to be named in the Epstein files by June 30th, according to Polymarket. Number 1, I'm not even going to try and pronounce this guy's name. Ehud Barak, 77%. At number 1. Number 2, Bill Clinton. I mean, we all assume that he's on the list. 71%. Number 3, David Copperfield at 67%. David, I don't know who you are, but we're about to know quite soon if this is the case. Number 4, Prince Andrew, 67% as well. We knew that, right? We knew he's gone, right? We get out. Number 5, Bill Gates. Sorry, Bill. The malaria flies that you will be injecting the vaccines into in Africa. Bye-bye. It's done. It's done, Bill. You're done. Number 5 at 64% is Bill Gates. Number 6, the lawyer, Alan Dershowitz. Epstein's lawyer, his legal buddy, goes on Fox News all of the time, which I don't know why they associate themselves with Alan Dershowitz. He was mentioned in the documentary, right? All this stuff. He's implicated, highly implicated, at 63%. And now a shocking one, Barack Obama, number 7 at 42%. So once again, this is Polymarket. People are betting money on this. So you know, just like the election when they were betting money on who was going to win, Trump or Kamala, you know it's going to be accurate because people are putting their hard-earned money on the line. So you know it's going to be as accurate as possible. Barack Obama at 42%, number 7. That's kind of crazy, no? They're saying there's a 42% chance that Barack Obama will be named in the Jeffrey Epstein files. And I'm sorry, insane. Because I didn't even think he'd be on the list. I didn't even think that he went. Now, stuff with Michelle, right? What happened to his chef in Martha's Vineyard when the chef was really good at swimming, yet the chef drowned in 2 feet of water, and that's how the chef died. Kind of weird. But nevertheless, we forgot about it. But I don't know. Number 8, Hillary Rodham Clinton, also at 42%. She loves pizza. All I can say, loves pizza. Not surprised. Number 9, considering he's dead, this is kind of weird, but at 36% chance by Polymarket, we have Stephen Hawking. Which I don't know how much he could do. I mean, he was in that damn chair for a long time. Brilliant mind, but probably not brilliant sexual urges, as we might find out. And then number 10, Michael Jackson at 13%. If you've seen Leaving Neverland, you kind of get it. But, I mean, the music was so good that when you hear it, you have to often overlook it and say, listen, did he touch those kids? Maybe. I mean, it's pretty damning. How do you knowingly sleep with children? And how do you knowingly sleep with children? And in your own bed? I mean, you're a grown-ass adult. It's just kind of weird. And I don't know if the defense is good. I mean, they say, oh, you know, he never had a childhood. He felt most comfortable around children. I don't know. The documentary was really damning, but the music was so good. I often find myself defending Michael Jackson. I really haven't looked into much more than that. But yeah, there's a funny one about Tom Hanks. But yeah, so that's the list. That's the list. I also want to get a video, if I can, of Pam Bondi actually discussing that she was going to release the Epstein files, if I can. And I'm not going to look for it forever. I'm actually going to give up in a couple seconds if I can't find the video. But still, I think it's very crazy that this might actually come to light. All right, so here's the video. So once again, this is Pam Bondi She is the Attorney General in Trump's White House, and she admits that she will be releasing the Epstein files and that they're actually in review on her desk. Here we go.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
That's so crazy that it's actually going to come out.
That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
Oh, boy. Boy, oh, boy. Okay, so assuming it comes out, I think that Tom Hanks, Oprah, I hear Chris Tucker, which is kind of random. I mean, I like Chris Tucker, but to hear he's implicated too doesn't surprise me either, just because he's been in Hollywood for a long time. But it's, I don't know. I guess it does help if you name Michael Jackson, Stephen Hawking, if they were guilty. Obviously, this is all alleged, right? We don't want to get sued. But what a time. What a time to see a president actually follow through on a lot of his campaign promises. What a time. And we'll see. I still don't know if this comes out. I know they gave it like a 70% chance that it comes out. But she has it on her desk in review. So we will see. But I'm still a little bit pessimistic. But the fact that it might happen is insane. It is absolutely insane. And so we shall see. Because let's be honest, if this does happen, then all of this whole Hollywood facade will fall immediately, and nobody will trust this whole thing ever again. This whole Hollywood cabal, this whole organization of Hollywood, the entertainment industry. American trust was already crumbling, or in terms of trust in the entertainment industry and the influence that they've had and all that. Like, people are really starting to see the entertainment industry for what they are. But man, if this comes true, man, if they allow this to come out, it's going to be shocking. Hooters is filing for bankruptcy. Now, a lot of people are a little bit upset by this. And I find it kind of odd because Hooters was always something that I was under the impression that like perverted dads took their kids to, all like the divorced perverted dads took their kids to. I've never been to Hooters. The excuse for going was always, oh, you know, the wings are so good. And obviously we know what the advertisement is, right? It's the waitresses and the big boobs, right? Which I guess is not in demand anymore. My theory for why Hooters is reportedly making plans to file bankruptcy is because now, as unfortunate as it is, porn is so prevalent in our world, and so the idea of, and this is unfortunate, but the idea of seeing attractive, very chesty women in real life has been now trumped by seeing naked women online at the snap of a finger. Neither options are good, but that's just where the world has gone. In terms of online interaction over real life interaction, not a good thing, right? We've known that. But still, I mean, this is not to make an excuse and say Hooters is good. I personally couldn't care less that they're filing for bankruptcy. But regardless here, this is where it's going, right? In addition to that, you have the twilight of OnlyFans becoming so popular. And now you have all these regular women that never would have really gone into sex work, seeing how profitable it is and then jumping into it. And now you have, I would imagine, a decent chunk of the male population, maybe not the majority, but a decent chunk of the male population now subscribing to these OnlyFans and spending all this money on watching all this porn. If it's not OnlyFans, just porn in general is free. Whereas you go to Hooters, you have to spend money, you have to have a social interaction, all that. And so this is what happens. To me, it is what it is. I really don't. I could not care less. Never went to Hooters. Never been something that I was really interested in. Like going there. Because like I said, mostly I think it was for pervy dads, pervy divorced dads that just wanted to take their kids, and see what was being shown. But yeah, it's not something that I'm not personally missing it. Whether or not they actually file for bankruptcy doesn't really affect me. But I mean, I know a lot of people are upset. We have maybe one more story. I might go with two, but we have one more. And this is just so juicy. We have to get to the story because it has been probably one of the more dominating stories on X. Are you ready? Are you ready for this story? Here we go. If it'll load. Alrighty. Sean Diddy Combs is back in the news, and folks, he is in the news for a reason I never thought he would be in the news for. His own defense. Imagine that. Sean Diddy Combs' own lawyer dropped the case. Did not want to be a part of the case. What? A little bit shocking, personally. Well, here we go. From the New York Post. We love the Post because it's free. Sean Diddy Combs' lawyer quits sex trafficking case. Quote, under no circumstances can I continue. Holy hell. One of Sean Diddy Combs' defense lawyers quit the disgraced music producer's criminal sex trafficking case. New court papers show. Anthony Rico filed a motion Thursday to withdraw as one of the Bad Boys Records' 6 defense attorneys without explanation. Did he, eat a kid? How? These lawyers are so money hungry that they will defend murderers, rapists, pedophiles. But for some reason, Diddy's attorney said that he can't defend him anymore. Let's continue. Rico's bid to step down won't be official until a judge signs off on it. A judge must find a significant or sufficient reason to approve such a request, and this is him. Little ad here. Here we go. Quote, under no circumstances can I continue to effectively serve as counsel for Sean Combs, Rico wrote in the Manhattan Federal Court affidavit. It is respectfully but regrettably requested that the court grant the relief requested. What did he find? What did Diddy tell him? What did he hear? How is this even happening? Like I said, these people don't have a conscience. They will defend Satan himself, and they have. But what did they find? The lawyer didn't elaborate on why he wanted to step down, but noted the decision came after speaking with Combs' lead counsel, Mark Agnifilo. The attorney suggested the cause for his affidavit's brevity is because he didn't want to divulge any information protected by attorney-client privilege. Wow. The lawyer didn't elaborate on why he wanted to step down from the disgraced music producer's criminal sex trafficking case. But he told the judge there are sufficient reasons for asking to be let off the case. Rico assured the judge his resignation wouldn't delay the trial, which is set for May 5th, since Combs will continue to be represented by 5 other attorneys of record. Combs, 54, has pleaded not guilty to charges he forced on women into drugged-up sex shows. And here's Diddy looking like shit. He's been behind bars without bail since his September arrest. He faces a mandatory minimum of 15 years behind bars and up to life imprisonment if convicted on the top charge. Combs also faces at least 40 lawsuits by men and women who claim he drugged them and sexually assaulted or raped them. I don't know. Did he do it? I think he did. I mean, there's proof. There's literally video proof of him beating up his girlfriend in 2016. That's real. Obviously, he wasn't a good guy. I don't think he's the head of it. We've talked about it on the show, and we'll continue to talk about it until they kill him, because I think that is going to happen. But you're telling me the attorney, these people who, once again, defend Satan incarnate all the time. These defense attorneys defend the worst of the worst. How in God's name do you say, no, this isn't for me? Which means there's got to be something massive in this whole lawsuit that's going to unfold here before they go to trial and then during the trial. That's it. That's the show. Please give the show a like. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to have 2 podcasts. This is very exciting stuff. So this show, the solo episodes, will be the Luke Papala show. It's me. Additionally, Shad and I, for everybody that's been following the show, we are going to have an additional podcast now that will still be housed on this YouTube channel. We have a name. We have a working title. We're very excited about that. Going forward, I'm not giving you scheduled releases. We're just going to release weekly. Ideally, it's this show at least once a week, and then we have the new show once a week as well. But this is very exciting stuff. And I also hope, too, that you enjoy the show. I really hope you enjoy the show. I try to make it a little bit entertaining, but all this stuff is just to have fun. And that's what I hope I'm doing on the show. So, really appreciate it if you could give the show a like, a comment, subscribe to the channel, watch the other stuff. The other stuff is really good as well. More stuff's coming out. Right now, more podcasts and stuff, but we hope to have more entertainment stuff as well, like skits and stuff. I want to start doing vlogs. There won't be very many. It won't be like traditional, but I have a lot of ideas. But this second show is something that's definitely happening. So, everybody, tune in. Have a great one wherever you are. Spread some happiness. Don't do what Diddy did. And yeah, be great. We will see you.